and I've got my camera off so it streams a little bit better for everybody. And so let's go ahead and let me share my screen with everyone this morning. And the first thing we're going to talk about this morning is we're going to talk about the technical guide, the install guide, as well as the that little PDF that I had generated for everyone. So as we take a look at it, Guy and Bruce, I'll let you guys kind of be my monitors this morning. Can everybody see the screen this morning first thing?
Yes.
All right. Yes. So what I've got is I've got the technical guide up now. What this is specifically is we're going to be talking about using an alternate relay scheme or option, for our HMH7. But before we do that, and we talk about that little PDF and paper that I sent out to everybody, I want to make something real clear to everyone that if you're going to be hooking up the new variable speed air handler, and the model number on that air handler is the JHVT, the new JHVT, the variable speed air handler, the one we're launching. You do not need a relay kit. So this variable speed air handler, now you're going to still need the relay kit, for the standard ECM motor and for the time being the furnaces and stuff like that. But on the new variable speed air handler, it's going to have configuration on there that you can actually hook the S1 circuit or the S1 output from the HMH outdoor horizontal heat pump directly to the air handler. And so I just wanted to give everybody a quick reference for that. So in the technical guide, what you're seeing on your screen right now, in the technical guide, on page number 13 on the technical guide, if you look at my cursor, you'll see that this right here is the wiring diagram for the HMH7 heat pump hooked up directly to the air handler. And you'll notice there's an S1 input on that air handler, that new JHVT variable speed air handler. So it's a direct hookup. So you don't have to have a relay kit at all on the new variable speed air handler. So that's pretty cool. In addition, there's going to be a little bit of let me go ahead and minimize that or get rid of that. In addition, there's going to be a little bit of a setup routine that you're going to do on the JHVT air handler, and you're going to find that in the install information. So if you look at the screen here, the install information on that new air handler, the variable speed air handler, on page number 14, you'll see it's well described on how to set up that S1 input on the variable speed air handler. So this is all in the install information and technical guide. I just wanted to pull those pages out so that you could see that for yourself. It's currently right now out there on Navigator. And so again, on page number 14 of the install guide, this is how you set it up. It talks about the S1 functionality on page 14 in the install guide. And it goes on to tell you how to set that up or how to configure the new variable speed air handler for that direct S1 input from the horizontal HMH7 heat pump outside. So before we get into that paper that I wrote and sent out to everybody, is there any questions or comments where I'm going to find the wiring diagram and the explanation on how to set up that S1 input on the new variable speed air handler? Any questions or comments on that? Everybody good? Okay. Well, now let's go ahead and refer to that paper that I had written and sent out to everybody. So what this is, guys, I thought this is important enough to host and to have a meeting for everyone. And again, like I said, we are recording this meeting. So by all means, go out and look on the YouTube training channel. And, everyone should have the link to that YouTube training channel, Training with Joel, Technical Training with Joel. And we're going to be hosting, or we're going to be housing this out there as well as one of our videos, even though it's a pretty short video this morning. We're going to host it out there or put it out there on the YouTube training channel as well, because, you may want to refer back to it again with any questions and stuff. So basically what this is an HMH horizontal heat pump alternate relay application guide. Now, fellas, I'm not going to sit here and read this to you because that's not my style, but the basic idea is this, is that if you, for whatever reason, whether we're in an oversold position or we have a short supply of these HMH7AK001 and 002 kits because of vendor shortages, which we've seen some. Everyone has seen some of that in manufacturing, as you well know. But if you get in a situation where you do not have the HMH7AK001 or 002 relay kits available to you, what this paper is all about is selecting generic relays and bi-flow filter dryers to make up your own kit, or in addition to maybe make up some, if you want to, make up some generic wiring harnesses and stuff like that. But let's go ahead and talk through a little bit this generic list of materials for these relay kits that can be made up in the field by your contractor. So number one, you're going to need a single pole double throw relay with a 24-volt coil. And we're going to recommend sealed relays, you know, like the little peanut relays. We're going to show you a picture or two here of some of the ones I'm talking about. Now, remember, guys, 2 relays will be needed for our legacy variable speed air handlers and our other products. And just a quick reminder again, our new variable speed, the JHVT air handler, will not require a relay kit. You're going to have a bi-flow filter dryer that's going to have to be provided for heat pump application. And we're going to recommend you size that dryer per the tonnage recommendation of the dryer manufacturer, which is how I normally do it. I believe all of our HMH7 products, and you guys can help me out in this, you've probably seen more of them than I have in the field, but I think all of them feature a 3/8 liquid line. If I'm not mistaken on it, I believe they all have a 3/8 liquid line. So bi-flow filter dryer will have to be provided in this kit or as well in the field. And then you're going to have some electrical spade connectors for the terminal connections. Now, what we're going to recommend on the low voltage wiring that the contractor, or if you guys decide you're going to maybe make up some field kits, you know, put them in a plastic bag and charge what you want to charge for them. But we're going to recommend that you use stranded number 16 gauge wire, you know, for the harnessing, because it, you know, the crimp connectors, you guys know this as well as I do, that when you take a stranded wire and a crimp connector, you know, just like a regular piece of wire and a crimp connector, the crimp seems to work a lot better. It seems to clamp better and squeeze down better on stranded wire than it does like just plain old thermostat wire. Not saying you can't use plain old thermostat wire, because I've seen guys do that too. They'll put a crimp connector on that. So it's kind of up to you. I like stranded wire when I'm putting crimp connectors on, but by all means, just a standard thermostat wire may be used as well for the field wiring. So those are the top 3 things you got to keep in mind. That, you know, you got to have a relay, and I recommend a sealed relay with 24-volt coil, single pole, double throw. Going to have a bi-flow filter dryer, and then you're going to have field fabricated or prefabricated harnessing or just low voltage wires to these relays in order to make it all work out there in the field. So any questions or comments on that so far before we kind of look at some little pictures and kind of go over this white paper as much as you want, or discuss it as much as you want? Any questions or comments so far? All righty. Well, let me scroll down here. So what I did with this this information, or this little PDF file, I just showing some pictures of just some generic sealed relays. Now, these relays are readily available from, you know, Diversitech and Honeywell and White Rogers. I mean, you guys probably have these on your shelves. And again, these are just some pictures of the kind of sealed relays I'm talking about. Now, you notice the one relay in the middle picture there looks like one of those Honeywell or White Rogers relays. That's obviously a double pole, double throw relay, which could absolutely be used if that's all you had. Same way with those sealed relays on the bottom. Those are just very, very typical little peanut relays with a 24-volt coil, just a little switching relay. All they're doing is they're switching control, 24-volt control voltage. So it isn't like there's a lot of amperage or anything on it. So basically, any of the generic relays that you guys have on your shelf or that are available to you will work fine. Again, I'm just going to recommend a sealed relay with, you know, with that single pole double throw configuration as a minimum. Now, guys, please remember, on the variable speed product, the legacy variable speed product, variable speed furnaces, you're going to have two of these relays, right? You're going to need to have two of those relays. But on the like the TME and the AE air handlers and stuff like that, you'll just have to have just a single relay for that airflow switching. And then basically, here's a picture of your BiFlow filter dryers. You guys know what these look like. Whatever brand you happen to have, I've just got a couple pictures I pulled offline here. I think that's a picture of an Emerson on the left and a ProTech on the right. But you guys know as well as I do, a BiFlow filter dryer is a BiFlow filter dryer. You probably have a pile of them on your shelves right now, you know, in your distributorship there, and at your local company, you know, whether it's a Diversitech or Emerson or Sporlan or whatever, a BiFlow filter dryer will be necessary to go ahead and complete the mechanical part of this kit. And then fellas, and I'm not going to go over all this stuff because we've been through this with training on several occasions, but I've included block diagrams in this PDF as well. And by the way, you guys share this PDF with your contractors, your inside support people. If you're going to be making these kits up yourself, you know, we're going to ask that you train the person that's going to be making these kits up to make sure that they've got, you know, relays and dryers and whatever if you make the kits up. But you'll notice at the end of this PDF that I sent you guys are just some simplified block wiring diagrams. And again, I want you guys to go ahead and use these materials any way you like. You can print them down. It's for open use. There's no secrecy to it or anything like that. You guys use this stuff, this information as you see fit. So with that, let me go ahead and open the floor up. If there's any questions or comments on the materials that we just looked at and where I can find the information as far as the install and the technical guide, the information that I referenced. Any questions or comments, fellows, on the stuff we just talked about? And I'm going to go ahead and turn my camera back on so you can see my mug real quick as we kind of open the floor up a little bit, fellas, for any final questions or comments on this little paper that we did for the alternate relay setup.
Joel, Johnny has his hand up.
Okay, thank you for monitoring that, Johnny. What's your comment or what's your question, please?
So I just had a question. Is there a way that we can do a diagram for the First Company or Aspen hydro units as well? Or is that something you want us just to draw up on our own?
Well, you can certainly, if you wouldn't mind sending me that, I can kind of put it in that pretty little block diagram type of thing. I don't currently have a schematic or a wiring diagram, but if you want to send that to me, I'd be glad to lend a hand with that. Yeah, we could do that.
All right, excellent. Because I can write it out on paper, but the way you have it for me to give to my customers, it's just more professional.
Okay, I'll tell you what. If you'll write up exactly what you want, just make a hand drawing and or a wiring schematic or wiring diagram of your air handler or your product. Now remember, it's got to be I guess I'll just ask, is it an ECM type of
speed? Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, just get that to me and I'll get to work on that for you, and I'll be glad to lend a hand with that. No sweat.
Outstanding. Thank you, Joe.
Yes, sir. Any other good questions or comments before we secure for this morning, fellas?
Hey,
well,
Joel.
Guys, yes, sir. Go ahead.
Any news on whether or not they're going to build in the same HMH functionality into the variable speed gas furnaces like they did with the JHVTs?
You know what? That's an excellent question, Tim. I was asking that very question, and the people I asked, they don't know at this point. I'm going to guess that they probably are. They're probably going to do that, but I haven't seen any technical information, white papers, or service letters at this point. But I'm going to guess that they probably are, but I can't say for sure, Tim. So for the time being, what we're going to do, well, it'll be on the variable speed furnaces for the time being, and the legacy, like the AVC type of air handler, we're still going to be using the two relays for now. But good question, excellent. Good. Any other good questions or comments before we secure for the day, fellas? Well, guys, I'm going to go ahead and at this point, I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording. And if you do have any final questions